Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. I've got something cool to show you today. I'm going to show you how to make this really cute cake topper that you can use for graduations, and of course you can make it say anything you want to. But with graduations just around the corner, I thought I'd show you this one. And you can make this one because you get the little items that you need from Creative Fabrica with just one file, and of course some of your own text. So, like I said, I've seen these on Etsy for sale, and I figured that, you know what, I can make them myself, and I'm going to show you how to. Isn't it pretty? Okay, I'm going to try to make this a little bit of a quicker video for you guys. So this is what I ended up with right here. Congrats, Sarah. As I said, you can make it say anything you want. So when you go to Creative Fabrica, and the link is below, you'll get these three things right here. And these are what I've used pretty much in my cake topper. Well, I don't really know anybody that's graduating high school. So if you've been following me, maybe you know about this little girl that's coming to my house. So her name, her name is Sadie. And so I'm thinking maybe I will just do something and pretend like Sadie is graduating. So let me get her in here a little bit so you can see her. All right. Let's see, I'm going to make this much smaller, like 5. Okay, there we go. Okay, so since we have Sadie here, and do you know that you can easily crop images? This is just a little side note in Silhouette Studio. If I wanted to crop some of this blanket out, all I have to do is double click on this, and you see these little boxes that come down here? I can use those to crop up as far as I want, like that. And let's see, maybe down a little further. And one way you can tell if you got it straight is just up here where the ruler is, you can grab a line down here and bring one down here, and then I can double click on this again and I can still see that line. So I could pull this straight down to there and this line straight down to there. So then I know I have it perfectly positioned. And I can move these back up there or leave them, whatever. So again, I could do the same thing with the top, just double click. Get these little node guys, bring it down. And if I wanted to make sure, as I said, one way I can make sure that it's perfectly straight is I've already brought one of these down so I can see, is it straight? Almost just perfect, but not quite. So I'll just move this down just a hair like that. And this side down just a hair. Okay, now that looks pretty good. All right, so anyway, I'm going to do this for Sadie. So the first thing that you want to do is you'll get this text, and it says congrats grad. Well, I don't want the word grad in mine because I'm going to personalize it for Sadie. So what I'm going to do is see if I can ungroup this. I sure can, so I can get rid of the word grad and the exclamation mark. So I'll just delete those by hitting delete on my keyboard. And then I'm going to go ahead and write Sadie underneath of here. And I used a different font for Sadie. Let's see what comes up. So I'm going to type in all caps SADIE. And I could leave it like this if I wanted to. Let's see how this would look up here. Congrats, Sadie. Okay, that's not bad, but I think Sadie's a little large for this thing maybe. So let's make this, let's see, this is only 3 inches across. So I'm going to make it a lot bigger like that because I'm going to make this one about 6. I will make it exactly 6 inches across. We'll start with that. 6, enter. All right, there's congrats. And then I'm going to put Sadie under that so I can stretch her name across too if I'd like to, or make it larger. But I think that font is just a little too heavy for her. So I'm going to come over here to the font and change it maybe to something else. Let's see, chunk 5. That's sort of heavy also, but perhaps maybe that's what I'd really like, something like that. I do still have the one open from before that I did, I think, over here. Let's scroll out. Yeah, there's Sarah. So what I can do if I want to see what font I used here, click on this, come over here and get this eyedropper and click on this one and it changed it to the same font that I had used before, which I think maybe is one I want to use again. The thing that I did do different before, though, before I used the word Sadie, was I went ahead and offset it a little bit. So I'm going to go here. And actually, before I do that, though, I think I'll change the character spacing a little bit. See how I can use that and move those a little closer? Okay. And then I'm going to offset it. So come over here to the offset panel, just say offset. And let's move this out and see. No, I don't like that because look how much that changed right in there where the eye was. So I'm going to make that offset smaller. So I'm going to say offset, but I'm going to make it a smaller offset so that we can still tell that that's an eye there. So let's see. There, that's better. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color this in with black and bring it up here. So I'm trying to see where would I like this word to be, the name. Okay, I kind of like it right here, but I want to show you one thing. I'm going to group all this together and move it off to the side. Now I'm going to come over here to the text tool, and rather than bringing in the word congrats, I'm going to type it in myself. Oops. Okay, it's all on top of each other because I had messed with the letter spacing before over here in the text style panel. So the character spacing, I'm going to move it back apart. Okay. Now I'm going to change it to a different font. And one of the ones that I like to use a lot of times is sometimes Rabitha Script. Let's see what that looks like. I don't think that's the one I use, but let's check. See, Rabitha Script. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Maybe that is what I used. All right, I like that. So I'm going to use this instead, and I'll show you why. If I were to just use this one here, and I ungroup this, and I wanted to change some of these letters on congrats, like move the O down a little bit, move the N up. If I right-click on this, ungroup is not an option. But check this out with this one. When I right-click on this, I can ungroup it, and that lets me use each letter, individually. So let me group this back again. Make sure they're lined up at the bottom. Okay, group. Okay. So what that allows me to do is this. Actually, I think that actually works out pretty well like this. However, if I wanted to, let's see what I did over on this one. Okay, that was a different font, but this one's pretty nice. But what I could do with this ungrouped is I could make these letters come down like this so they fit nicely and they touch the other ones if I really want them to all touch like that. But like I said, that's not the font that I use necessarily, I don't think. I think I may have used, let's see, go back over here, congrats, C-O-N-G-R-A-T-S. Now, I'm not sure why that goes back to that way when I changed it, because I'm going to change the line or the character spacing again and leave it like that. And I'm going to try, I think maybe Magnolia Script. That's what a lot of people have used over the years for many things. Or Magnolia Sky. Let's try Magnolia Sky. So all these over here are in alphabetical order. Okay, does that look it? No, that's not it either. This has really skinny letters, so I'm going to try a different one yet. Oh, October Twilight. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so there's October Twilight. So if I wanted to use that, I could, and I'd make that a lot bigger like that. And then I could go ahead and right-click and say Ungroup, and that would allow me to move these letters so they fit together better. So I could make Sadie a little bit bigger. And what I'm talking about now is I can bring this C down here and make it join up with that with the S. Bring the O down a little bit. I could leave the N there, and the G is going to connect there. If I want to, I could leave the R, A, T, S. maybe make the S a little bit smaller, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the little mortar board, and this is what it looks like. So you'll have to do a little adjusting on this one. So to do that, all I did was scroll in, and right here I just got a shape, and I actually just used a box like this and then twirled it just a little bit. I should make it a different color, right, so we can see what we're doing. So let's go ahead and make this box orange. I can see. Drag that over like that. What I could even do is right click and say send it to the back, and then I can see how well it's working out. And that would be good. All right, so then what I would do is just change this to black, and I would go like this, grab all of these things, and I would weld. Okay, that is just one piece like this. Okay, there is just one other place that I noticed there is a problem. Right here, can you see that little bit of a line right there? When I go to cut this, it's going to cut right there, and I don't want it to. Let's go back before I welded it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this piece right here, Object, Ungroup. I'm going to take this piece and smush it up there before I weld it, and now I'll grab everything and weld it. And then there'll no longer be a cut line right there. All right, so now I'm going to scroll back out, and I'll make this a lot smaller because I want it to fit right in here, like that. And the next thing I did was I made a line, and to make the line, you just come over here to the rectangle tool and make one however wide you want it. And then you can simply right click on it and say duplicate, and then just use your arrow key to move it down and take both of them and align them to the left. And then you'd fit your stuff in here. So the stuff I'm going to fit in there is Puppy Class 2022. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this line, and this is not straight. It probably won't matter. Let's not be so close in. Going to bring this line up here and make sure that all of these letters are touching this line, and this line is as far out as the whole image. So I'm going to ungroup the word Sadie for a minute, bring that down a little bit, and then bring this up just a hair like that. Let's scroll out and see what we got. That looks cute. If I want to, I could bring this down and instead have it on this line if I'd like. But I think I kind of like this to come down and touch a little bit, and maybe the E come over a little bit just so there's another connection point right there. And then maybe even bring this up here. Okay, first, no, I think I really like it down further so you can tell more easily what it is. And of course I could take it and rotate it if I wanted to a little bit like that. That's cute. Congrats, Sadie, and I could bring that T down just a hair bit more. There we go. And then, of course, on this line, remember these are all touching, so it's not going to cut these off. Then I'm going to bring the word Puppy Class 2022, and I'm going to make sure, let's scroll way in, when I type that out, see how there's a little bit of a white line? Let me show you. Above the letter A and L, we need to make sure that that touches exactly into that stuff up above it. So I can use my arrow key until it gets up there. No white lines showing between those letters. Perfect. Let's scroll back out. And then I would put the final line down here. And again, stretch it out. So it goes all the way across like that. Okay, and then again, I don't want this just floating and getting cut off. So I need to take it up with my arrow key until it touches those letters. Now, there's an easy way to tell if you've done it properly. So let's scroll out for a sec, make sure this is the only thing we have on the mat. If I go to send, we should be able to see exactly what's going to cut. So I'm wondering, okay, there's some junk in here I don't want to cut like that. Let's go back to design. And let's weld all this together. Weld. And now let's go to cut. I'm going to undo one more time, y'all. See this little bip right there between the O and the C? I didn't like that. So I'll fix that a little bit. All right, now I'm going to weld everything together. And I'm going to say send. And now we're going to see how is this going to cut. So let's scroll way in, because this is the part I'm worried about. So it's going to cut here, and it's not going to cut there or there. So these will all remain attached, which is exactly what we want. These will be attached. This will be attached here. This will be attached here. So that looks like it's going to turn out pretty well, and everything down here is attached. So the only thing left I'd have to do next is to say send. But before I send anything, I always do a test cut, especially if I'm using a different material. And in this case, I am using glitter cardstock. Okay, the first thing you'll notice is I'm going to do the test. Okay, first if you look at the silhouette software behind me or up on my screen, you can see I've added Sadie's name twice, the year 2022, a star, and a heart, just to show you that you could make some more decorations if you want to put some on a table or around a centerpiece if you're actually doing this for a high school or a college grad. Also up here you can see my first prototype that I made out of black cardstock. Then I made this one that's out of glitter cardstock, and what I used to attach these little popsicle sticks, and of course you could use probably toothpicks, or you could use bamboo skewers, but what I like to use is this foam mounting tape that I get from the Dollar Tree. And the reason why I like to use that is this: after you're done using this in your cake, chances are you might like to take it off of these little sticks and be able to put this in a frame or put it in a scrapbook page or something like that. And so this way you still have this for more uses. All right, so this one has finished. Let's see what we've got. Okay, it seems to have cut out well. I was a little nervous when I do this in front of you guys. For fear something's not going to work quite right. So that seems to be okay. Let's see. Now this is the hard part to know on this vinyl, or on this glitter, I'm sorry, where you go ahead and take things out. So I'm going to try carefully, because these letters I put down at the bottom that say puppy class, they're very, very tiny. So I hope I'm not going to mess them up. Looks pretty good so far. Ooh, the 22. Let's see, I need my little tool, because I'm missing a little bit of that too. Just a little bit of the card backing. I think it will be okay. Let's get this piece off. There we go. Good job. Perfect. Oh, this is beautiful. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Not sure, I can't see the camera, the angle that it is. Okay. Gotta be very careful because it's delicate. See, one little place that got messed up. Wow, beautiful. Okay, let me show you this. There's one little tiny spot that got a little bit messed up, but I can fix that easily. It's the R and the G right there. Otherwise, it turned out beautifully. Congrats, Sadie. Puppy Class 2022. And once I glue that together, it will stay well. Just have to put a little teeny tiny piece of tape back there to fix that. Of course, if I was doing this for an order, I would redo it. I wouldn't want to have that like that. But for myself, I can put a little piece of tape. No one will know the difference. And I'm good to go. So that's how easy it is to make these beautiful cake toppers. Oh, and here are the extra pieces that you get. The little stars. And the 2022. Perfect. Look at that. Can you see it? 2022. And let's see, did we get Sadie's name? Yep, there's her name, Sadie. Got a couple more of those, but I think you'll get the idea. There it is. So I hope you like this tutorial and you see how easy it is to make these yourselves using Silhouette software. You can also save it if you have the business edition as an SVG file and cut it over with your Cricut. So thanks for joining me. Hey, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends about my videos. I sure appreciate it. Bye for now.